Welcome to Crafty Hints. If you're new here, I'm Chantel. I'm so happy that you're joining me today for some quick DIYs. They're very budget friendly and under 5 minutes. Let's get crafty. For my first one, I took this gather sign from the Dollar Tree and then a piece of scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. And you could use a hair dryer for this. This is just kind of an inexpensive heat gun. I want to say it's around $10. It's in my Amazon list. But what I'm doing is just trying to separate that glue. Now, don't get impatient like I did. I did this last time at Christmas too when I did this. But if you pull too hard there, it will snap. And I thought I had enough glue, so I do end up snapping a little piece of it, which you'll see. But just continue to run something along there as you heat it up. And we're just trying to get that glue to let go. All right, just about have it here. Now, you could use any, background you wanted. You could even put, some leaves back there, like floral leaves, or if you press some leaves. So many things you can do because this is kind of a shadow box. I just glued that little piece back together. And if you have any extra glue, use your heat gun or blow dryer to get rid of the excess. Now to measure this, I'm just going to set it right in there. And you can see on the edges, it's just a tiny bit short, but it's okay because the border of this sign will cover that up. So now I'm just going to take that down to that edge and I'm going to then just rub that crease. Pretty simple steps. And again, you can personalize it any way you'd like. Now we'll just cut that down. And then the bottom edge, I did make the straight edge of the paper how it came, just in case I didn't get it perfectly straight. Now I've got my pool and my peacock, and I was debating which one to paint this. At first, I wasn't going to paint it, but it's such a stark black. When you look at these fall colors, I just thought it needed something. So first I started with the pool, and it covers fairly well with one coat, but I thought that I wanted a little bit darker. So what I'm going to do is just put a coat of pool to lighten this up a little bit, and then I'm going to put my other color on top of that. That way we have good smooth covering over it. Again, you can paint this any color you'd like to match your decor. I truly won't make you watch me paint all of this, I promise. Okay, I'm trying to show here just being very careful at that edge is what I wanted to show you. Now I'm mixing in some of this. This peacock was just about empty, so I thought, oh, this is a good time. I'll use some of this pool, add it in there. If you wanted to add a little bit of, white or ivory or something like that, you could definitely do it that way too. But I thought this would give me closer to the blue in that plaid. All right, so just making sure I've got it all mixed properly. And now we're just going to go back over this ever so slightly. And I will say that I got a little bit heavy-handed around my G. Wasn't my G? One of the letters ended up just a little bit more. And so then I do decide to go around this border in ivory. I think it was the H. I think it bled up at the top just a tiny bit. So I did decide to paint it. I liked that wood look, but you know, things happen when you're crafting, so we improvise. All right, let's just put it back on there. A little bit of hot glue. If it ends up a little bit lumpy, again, use your blow dryer or your heat gun to just smooth that out. Then it should just sit on there ever so nicely. This does look a little bit darker there on my console table than it is. It was lighter like it showed there, but that's how it photographed. Okay, it's the first of the month. So you know what that means. I am going to have another collab with my friend Brenda and Amanda. There will be a playlist below. All you have to do is click on the playlist and it will take you from one to the next, all these wonderful fall ideas. But make sure you've subscribed to Brenda and Amanda's channels. All right, here we go. I grabbed this wreath at Walmart because I want it to be a little bit thicker. It ran a little over $5, I believe. These are some metal words that I have from the Dollar Tree. They're from last year. I went into, my craft supplies here and dug out what I could because my Dollar Tree, it has some leaves, but that's about it. I did find that big leaf garland at Hobby Lobby, and I believe it was around $5.48, I want to say is what that was. So if you really wanted this really leafy, or you're using a different wreath that you want to cover up, that would be a good way to go because these picks can get a little expensive. These are from the Dollar Tree, so even at $1.25 each, if you've got 4, you'd have a lot there. So these are some that I had left over from last year, and I'm just tucking them in. You could glue them down. I'm using some wire that I got at the Dollar Tree. This one is black. I thought that might fit in just a little bit better than the green floral wire, but use what you have. So I just want to fasten this down. I'm going to take it underneath. I'm going to twist it around a little bit, making sure it's secure because in the fall, sometimes it can get pretty windy. So make sure all of your leaves are secured down. I try to use minimal hot glue also on a wreath in the fall because, sometimes we have some pretty warm fall days. All right, so I'm just going to wrap this wire around, securing it here and there. And this was kind of in a twisty mess from the last time I used it, but that's all right. We'll get it going here. You're going to have to let me know down in the comments below which one you're thinking about making or which one is your favorite. I really like these leaves. They have some texture to them. They have a little bit of sheen to them. And those leaves from Hobby Lobby look like they're made by the same company. So you'll just get a lot of bang for your buck there. And I do end up snipping off just a little piece of that garland. When I'm finishing up my wreath, just here, I'm using a little bit of hot glue just in between and on here. I should have done what I'll show you to do in a moment because you can take a piece of the wire from your florals like this and then just take some of the wire and you're going to just fasten that leaf to it. So those leaves that don't have like a hole that you can shove the wire up in. So I'm just going to take some wire. I'm going to fasten it to it, make it nice and tight. And then I'll put it in there that way. That way it's nice and secure. And the nice thing about the wire in these is then you can bend it every which way so that you can get them fastened in there. And I have 2 different types of mums. I think that they're from 2 different years. And so I just mix those together. Again, you're just adding, you can add whatever you want. You can add pumpkins to this. You can add ribbon. I really was going for just a simplistic look. Just, I wanted to scream fall, but I didn't want it to do it over a loudspeaker. Does that make sense? I want it happy, looking like fall. Okay, so to fasten this, I decided to use some fishing line so that you wouldn't really see it. So I'm just tying it around different areas, just like I did the wire. So it's just another way to fasten it down, but that fishing line is nice and strong and will hold it in place. The great thing about this is if I really wanted to, I could go remove this, and then, in the spring or the winter, I could turn this into something else. So just find some good secure points, at the beginning of your word, at the end of your word, and if you'd like, even in the center. But I think that's a welcoming fall wreath. You have to let me know what you think. All right, here's my third one. I took this pumpkin shape and I used some pumpkin Waverly chalk paint, and I gave this, I don't want to say a light coat, but kind of, because the wood grain does show through just a little bit. Then I used my Cricut. I'm going to end up doing this autumn twice, just so you know, because with those bumps, sometimes it's hard to kind of line it up. So I'll show you. I make mistakes too. But if you're saying, oh my goodness, Chantel, I don't have a Cricut, what could I do? If you got some orange tissue paper, what you could do is you could print the autumn on the tissue paper. When you're printing it out, I've done this before and shown you, just make sure that you put it on draft so it doesn't give you too much ink. And then you could, write whatever you want on this. This is a quote. I debated between this one and the quote that fall or autumn, oh goodness, is a sign that change can be beautiful, or something like that. I'm sure you've seen it. But I think sometimes it's, different quotes can really touch you at different moments. And when I saw this, I just thought that this was fitting as, I think we're all going through a little bit of something. We're all going through our different seasons of life and trials and tribulations. So autumn shows us how beautiful it can be to let things go. There we are. So again, you could print that on tissue paper. So now I'm showing you, I didn't like it just how it was sitting. It was really bothering me. So I took some painter's tape and I'm just reapplying this. All right, super simple. We can fix our mistakes. And then I'm going to use a little bit of this. It's actually a hemp twine. I got it in, one of those boxes, I think, from Michael's at one point, one of those clearance boxes. So you could use jute twine. This is really soft twine. So I thought it was kind of nice. You could also use nautical rope. That could be pretty. So you're just basically going to wrap it around this stem, tacking it down now and then. And, as it starts to go around that corner, you're just going to kind of tilt the rope just a little bit. And then it does need to be tacked down just a little bit more often. I do hope that you've given me a thumbs up and you're enjoying. I do know also that I'm not getting out as many videos as I had prior. I'm, taking care of my physical and mental health as well. I do love to craft though. It's so therapeutic. So, do take time for yourself to do that as well. But, sometimes it gets to be a bit much. I have a, different full-time job as well. And it really became a lot. So I've cut back a bit. Okay, so I have these dowels that I just painted black. And my thought was I'm going to glue it to the front and I'm going to glue it to the back. Again, I'm showing you real time what happens. I glued it on there. I didn't like it. It didn't sit quite right. So what I end up doing is putting the two together and gluing them to the back, and it made a little bit of support, but it didn't quite give it enough support. So I added some tumbling tower blocks. I'm showing you on each side. I probably could have cut this out and just shown you with both of them at the back. I apologize. Okay, so now I'm adding the tumbling tower box. And then I ended up adding some other tumbling tower blocks, at a 90-degree angle, just so they're pointed, so they're kind of sitting on top of that edge going down, so that they gave it just a little bit more of a kickstand to the back, because still kept wanting to tip backwards a bit. Here's what it looks like. I hope that you've enjoyed all of these and that it's inspired you just a little bit. Please go to the playlist. It'll be linked down below. I will even pin it so that you can grab it and go from one crafter to the next. Here's a couple other videos you might enjoy. I do appreciate each and every one of you, and I do hope that you'll take some time for you to just exhale, relax, and craft. Take care of you. Have a blessed day.